retreat, Dhamma talk number 2. There are certain sets of requirements or preparation ahead before you start a Mindfulness-Insight meditation retreat. First and foremost is one need a very quiet and secluded place, solitary place, where there is very little or no disturbance. Number 2, when you practice, you must practice with ardent effort, not just even average, a lot more than average, ardent effort. Number 3, one must be always heedful from the moment you wake up till you fall asleep. Must be heedful. Number 4 is incline your mind towards Nibbana. Basically, you are dedicating this practice for the attainment of Nibbana, for the elimination of total and complete physical and mental suffering. Number 5, one needs moral purity. And here I like to put in 2 sets. One is on a daily basis, whether you are in a meditation or you are not in a meditation, or in a retreat or not in a retreat. One must adhere to the 5 precepts. And in retreat settings, one must adhere to the 8 precepts or 9 precepts. And number 6, and the last preparatory requirement is the right view. And here, foundation or the baseline for the right view is understanding of the concept of karma from Buddhist perspective. Okay. From number 1 to number 5 is self-explanatory, no need to go further. But number 6, the right view, I like to expand further in detail. And you will also find that right view has a lot of overlap with number 5, moral purity. So the baseline or minimum one needs to have on the right view is to understand the concept of karma in Pali, karma in Sanskrit, from the Buddhist perspective. There are two types of karma. One is unwholesome karma, and another one is wholesome karma. At our level, those two will be sufficient. So let's see unwholesome karma. In Pali it's called akusala karma. Akusala is unwholesome, karma is karma. We don't translate in English anymore. So, what is this unwholesome karma or unwholesome actions? You may call as actions for karma. Unwholesome actions are full of faults and also blameworthy by the wise, and it is bound to produce negative or bad result or negative effects, result effects, bound to produce. Keep in mind, karma is simply an action. It doesn't include the result or effects from the Buddhist perspective. So that is what akusala karma, unwholesome action, is. And actions. What are actions? There are three types of actions. One is the bodily or physical actions. Another one is verbal actions, physical deeds, verbal deeds, and the third one is mental actions. So three types of actions. Karma actions. To split it further goes into three: physical deed, verbal deed, and mental deed. And these three can be even subdivided into 10 of them. So let's see the first one, bodily actions. As it is unwholesome, we can call it bodily misconduct. Kaya duchariya. Kaya, bodily, duchariya, misconduct. That is physical deeds. And in there, first and foremost is killing. Killing not just human, any living beings that you can lay your hand on. Secondly is stealing. Call it stealing, but it will cover anything. If you take anything that is not willingly given to you, is considered as stealing. Stealing, robbing, extortion, whatever. That is number 2. And number 3 is sexual misconduct. Precisely engaging sex with minors and engaging sex with people who are already married. Those are the three physical misconducts, kaya duchriya. And second one is verbal misconduct, vaci duchriya. Vaci is verbal, duchriya, misconduct. And under that verbal there are four. One is lying. Okay. False speech. The next one is slander, malicious talks. Slander, trying to split unity, trying to break unity. That's slander. And the third one is rude and harsh speech. And the fourth one is frivolous talks, which means indulging in unproductive, not beneficial talks. Those are the four types when it comes to verbal misconduct. And the third one is mano duchriya. Mano is consciousness, but we can translate as mental disconduct, mental misconduct, mano duchriya. So in terms of things, simply the unwholesome thoughts, the third group is. And this one I like to go a little deeper, because a lot of people have uncertainty or confusion whether a thought can form karma, whether a thought can form karma. Here is totally negative karma. Can the formation of negative karma, bad karma, can arise simply from a unwholesome thought? That kind of questions arises quite often. So one part is let write down at our level. At our level. I'll start with the enumeration. The first one is covetousness. What it is thinking or scheming about how to get things that doesn't belong to you, belongs to somebody else. In other words, there's a greed. And the next one is ill will. Ill will is in a thought form, planning, scheming, to revenge, to hurt someone. That's ill will. And the third one is wrong view. 3. Wrong view is simply a thought in a thought form. So those 3. So let's look at it, whether a thought can produce negative karma or not. First take, or one angle to look at is, does your speech and your physical deed arise without a thought base. It always starts from a thought, and a thought can manifest into speech, a thought can manifest into physical deed. See, the base is a thought. That is one thing we need to be keenly aware of. The importance of thought. It's the root of all things, physical or verbal. And secondly, here it is. Let's build a scenario. There is an object, a property, belong to a friend. You know that your friend likes that object. Let's say a beautiful pen. Likes that object very much and doesn't want to part with it. That's the second base. And at the same time, you really want that pen. Just by simply going and asking, you won't get it. So you start thinking and scheming about how to do it, how to get it. Do I just go there and quietly take it away, cover it up and take it, and so on and so on and so on. You get the idea. Just thinking, scheming how to get that. And the thought can become very intense. I'm giving you a very simple object to relate with. But you never actually talk aloud or actually did it. But at the same time, that negative thought is highly intense, with great volition, intensity, cetana in you. Tell me, how are you being affected by that thought at that moment? Now, reflect and see. Be mindful and see how it could be. That constitutes karma. When we say karma, it's an action that has a effect. Action, effect. Action, reaction. Cause, effect. Whenever an action is done, there's an effect. That intense, covetous thought, wanting somebody else's property, definitely form a unwholesome karma. Therefore, it will produce unwholesome effect. Effect is one thing. Effect is not karma. Only action is karma. So pen is very simple. Let's do a doll. There are some teenagers, they look like a doll. And sometimes you might lust for it. And when you lust for it, you begin to think about how to acquire what you want. Intense. Very intense. Clinging, grasping to the thought. Imagine whether that will constitute negative mental state developing repeatedly in you or not. That constitutes unwholesome karma, which definitely will produce result or effect in future. So that is our level. Covetousness. Ill will, the same thing. I won't go too much in detail. Somebody hurt you, harm you, put you into a situation that you really hate. And then you're always planning and scheming of how to take revenge. Never comes out to the speech or deed level, but keep on thinking, and those things come in again and again repeatedly. And that kind of unwholesome thought constitutes of forming karma. Those are the karmic formation. And then the third one is wrong view. I'll treat it a little later by itself. So those are thoughts. Wanting other people's property. Thoughts about cruelty and hurting and harming and violence to others. And wrong view. They definitely constitute in the formation of karma. But in a level, everyday level, what's happening is we are so busy with our speech and deed, talking, and all the actions, talking actions, and then physical actions. That's all we are engaging from dawn to dusk, physical actions and verbal actions. We are hardly aware of our own thoughts. And suddenly we began to think that's not very important or significant. What is important is doing, speaking, talking, actions, physical actions, verbal actions. But not thoughts, because it's not on your radar. It is under your radar. That's why we ignore thoughts and we think it's not that important. You just think about something bad about somebody else. I didn't do anything. That is the line most of us take. That is the level. But I would just want to give another scenario or another level, let's call it. In this daily life at our level, we are busy with speech and deed. We don't hear our thoughts. But there are people who are practicing. They practice to improve, self-improvement. They practice. They have contained a lot of their physical actions. They have contained a lot of the verbal actions. They don't get busy physically too much with nonsense or speak nonsense. They contain, in other words, they are very quiet. They have a calm and quiet environment, not busy with activities, physical activities, not busy with verbal activities, quiet and calm. At that time, thoughts are very, very loud. Thoughts are very loud. At that time, you begin to see your thought patterns, thought process, your content of your thoughts, depending on what you are doing. They become very loud. And whenever a loud, unwholesome thought arises, especially if you are quite advanced, you even got scared. How scared are that person because of that little negative, unwholesome thought? It is equivalent to us in a daily life when we come face to face or thinking about, or doing about, or speaking about killing, violence. We got shock and alarm. Killing, physical, verbal, because it's really bad. That much we got shocked. And those people who are practicing and have established a lot of a quietude for physical and verbal, those loud, unwholesome thoughts are as shocking as killing to you for them. Because the awareness, because of the volition that contained is so clear at that moment, it is so scary for those people. Different level. At that level, those become the major unwholesome actions that can keep on producing effects, result, vipaka. So I think this would be sufficient for us to know that thoughts can produce, thought can form result or effect, vipaka, formation of karma, and once a karma is formed, down the line, separate apartment, result will arise. So this has been asked quite often by many yogis. So to enumerate it, let's recount it. Unwholesome actions, three major types: physical, verbal, and mental. In terms of piece by piece, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying or false speech, slander, rude and harsh speech, and frivolous talk. And a thought, covetousness, ill will, and wrong view. Those are 10 duchariya. These are actions that produce bad result, negative result, or effect. They produce suffering. 10 unwholesome actions. Akusala karma, unwholesome actions. So those are the 10. So in a world there's always the opposite side. The other one is called kusala karma, wholesome actions. What is wholesome actions? Wholesome actions are actions that is faultless, blameless, praiseworthy by the wise, and it always produces beneficial, good result or effect down the line as necessary. That is the kusala karma, wholesome actions. Of course, as there are 10 unwholesome actions, here, opposite is, we have 10 wholesome actions. Okay. But these 10 wholesome actions, if you have abstained the 10 unwholesome actions, you have already achieved halfway to the wholesome action. Just by abstaining unwholesome actions, you are doing wholesome actions. You can consider that way. But to be able to completely do the 10 wholesome actions, you have to go far beyond the abstinence or abandonment. of the unwholesome actions. So it's simple. We can go quickly. First of all is kaya susariya. The other one was dusariya. Susariya is physical deed that produce happiness. You can call it that way. The other one is misconduct. Misconduct produce suffering. This one is correct, proper conduct. Proper conduct produce happiness and peace. So this one is kaya. Unwholesome killing. Here you abstain from killing, and further you guard, you protect, and you save any beings, any living beings from being killed. But the key word is you must do it appropriately and suitably. Okay? You are going to protect somebody being killed. How? One way is easy. You pick up a stick and beat the other guy, then you protect it. That's not correct from the Buddhist point of view. You can protect without any violence. You must do it non-violence. That's number one. No hurting, harming, giving back to the enemy or to safeguard somebody. Non-violence action must be performed. And also one must know whether this is appropriate and suitable. Let's say a boy is kicked down by about 7, 8 other kids, and you go and do a referee, you'll be beaten up. At that time, it's best that you don't go and talk or interfere or referee. With rage, they can beat you up. The best that you can do, if you have a phone, call 911. If you have a crowd that you can master, and bring a crowd. In other words, stupid actions are not acceptable. Must be a wise action for the safety of others as well as safety for yourself. 2, the other one is stealing, and here is you have to go to the path of generosity, not just abstaining from stealing. You must do generous act, share what you have, give what you have. Charity. Charity doesn't mean only just giving money and products, not just materially. You can give your service, you can give your time. That's generosity. Must act. And unwholesome is sexual misconduct. And here is you must guard, you must protect, you must save others from become a victim of sexual exploits and sexual misconduct. Again, you have to be very appropriate. Non-violence, not with revenge, but simply safeguarding others. Now we go to verbal. What's the opposite of lying? Abstain false speech and apply speech with honesty, sincerity, and straightforwardness. That's one. Opposite to slander. Abstain, not use any slander, but speech. Use speech that unites and that harmonizes between two, between many, between groups, between nations. Speech of unity and harmony. Opposite of rude and harsh. Always deliver gentle speech, polite speech, pleasant in nature. And the opposite of frivolous talk. Always deliver a suitable speech to the time and space and people. Appropriate speech, suitable, productive, beneficial. Every word come out of your mouth must be directing or producing towards benefits and productive. Something useful. And then the eighth one, manosusariya, thoughts that produce happiness. What's the opposite of covetousness? It's wanting. Okay. By any means. You abstain from it, and then you must think about welfare of others. Welfare of others is you are thinking about welfare of others, well-being of others. Those thoughts you must apply. In one word, loving kindness. Mentally we practice. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. That is opposite of covetousness. Mentally. That form karma, that form good karma, good mental actions. It will produce good result down the line under a favorable condition. Next one is opposite to ill will. Abstain from ill will. Instead, you think about non-cruelty. Don't think about how to torture and revenge. Non-cruelty. You think about non-ill will. You think about non-violence. What's in one word? Compassion. Compassion. Karuna. You think, you contemplate, you reflect, you develop compassion mentally. That's number 9. And opposite, number 10, opposite of wrong view is the right view. So those are the 10 wholesome actions. In other words, 10 wholesome karma. 3 types: physical, verbal, and mental. Mental actually constitutes in the formation of karma. And if you look at it, some of the aspects are your 5 precepts. Some of the aspects are your 8 precepts, your 9 precepts. So karma and the precepts has a bridging hand in glove. So number 5 and number 6, morality and the right view are different, but they are also similar. So 10 wholesome actions produce or give rise to happiness and rebirth in a human realm, Deva realms and Brahma realm. They call it Sukati Bhumi, realms or places of happiness. So that is the baseline, the correct view of karma. Only part of it, it's not complete yet, but that's what it is. You do good things, you have good result. You do bad things, you have bad result. Doing action is karma. Result, consequences, not karma. It's called vipaka, resultant. They are two different things. Don't think you see karma, cause and effect are together there. Because there may be a cause and there will be a effect. Because effect produced at different time, immediate, later, many lives later, it can go a lot deeper. So, if one truly believes in karma, vipaka, it's two words, karma, vipaka, then you can call cause and effect. If one truly believes in karma, vipaka, cause and effects, one will surely avoid. If we believe in it, we'll surely avoid doing unwholesome karma, and we will always engage in wholesome karma, because we don't want to suffer. One produces suffering, one produces happiness. If we truly want happiness, we will do wholesome karma and we will avoid unwholesome karma. But you have to believe it deeply. Such belief is called straightening of the wrong view. This just good and bad, good and bad, good produce good, bad produce bad. That cause and effect relationship, if you believe in it, it is called straightening of the wrong view. You are starting to straighten the wrong view. In Pali, Ditti Ujjukata, straightening of the wrong view. The baseline, this is only the baseline for the right view, Samadhi. That is not all, it's simply the base. You start from that foundation, straightening of the wrong view. And the next step in the right view is you have to climb up the ladder. The right view is believing, okay, just in a arm-waving style, believing in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. If you believe in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you can call it that's a right view. But if you don't like that kind of a presentation, I'll present differently. It's about knowing the true nature of mind and matter, nama rupa. Knowing about the true nature of mind and matter, or in other words, understanding what non-self is. That is the right view. But to have that right view, you stop climbing up step by step, starting with the baseline of correct view of karma. And if that is a little too complicated on a scriptural term, knowing, understanding the Four Noble Truths, that's the right view. So, we talk about the wrong view, baseline karma, and then nama rupa and Four Noble Truths, nibbana. So, once a person is prepared oneself with all the requisites, 6 requisites, especially morality and theoretical understanding of the right view. You can't understand them all, it's just simply theoretical understanding, simply a knowledge at this time. One is ready to practice mindfulness-insight meditation, Satipatthana, Vipassana. Till then, you are not really fully prepared yet. But once you have this morality and the theoretical understanding of what the right view is, you are ready to practice. When you practice, you have a constant and uninterrupted mindfulness with concentration will arise. When you practice, that's what will arise. That's what the first immediate constant uninterrupted mindfulness with concentration will arise. And that in turn will produce mental purity, purity of mind. You will achieve purity of mind. As we say, concentration, abandons or pushed away the mental defilement, kilesa, that means you achieve mental purity. And also this concentration will assist one in meditation to discover the true nature of mind and matter, or conditionality, or conditioned phenomena. Only with that concentration you will see the mind and matter as it really is. And of course you have to go through many different levels of insight to see various aspects of the true nature of mind and matter. At the beginning of the practice, we started with theoretical understanding of the right view. We must hold that right view right at the beginning when you practice theoretical understanding. And also the end result. What is the end result? The end result of the successful practice is the experiential understanding of the right view. You start with the right view and you end with the right view on this journey of mindfulness insight. Start with the theoretical understanding of the right view and ends with the experiential understanding of the right view. This experiential understanding of the Four Noble Truths, in one word is Four Noble Truths. This experiential understanding of the Four Noble Truths can be achieved, can be attained only with Vipassana insight practice. So may all of you be able to develop the 6 basic requirements for the mindfulness insight meditation and eventually understand the true nature of mind and matter experientially as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.